Welcome to MacVoices. This is the talk of the Apple community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. And folks, this is the MacVoices update for February 2019. As will come as no surprise if you've been paying any attention at all, January was pretty much completely filled with our CES coverage. We ended up publishing a total of 72 separate interviews, all recorded at CES and the surrounding events. That was a record number for us, and one of the big reasons was the assistance of Norbert Frasse as camera person. It allowed for much faster setup and teardown, and so therefore we were able to get to more people. And I want to thank Norbert once again for all his help in getting that information to you. We did record a total of 75 interviews. 3 of them, for technical reasons, did not turn out, actually for a variety of reasons. And I'm hoping to get those folks back on the show to do maybe a little longer look at what they were showing at CES as a makeup for that. But again, with 72 interviews, you're bound to find something that you should find useful. We talked to a lot of old friends. We talked to a lot of new friends. We talked about some very specific hardware and software solutions, and we talked to some folks who are offering broader things. I think you will find something that will benefit you one way or another. If you have been subscribing to the MacVoices feeds, you're probably tired of hearing me say this, but depending on how your podcatcher is set up, it's possible that you missed some of the shows. So I would encourage you to do one of a few things. First of all, visit the MacVoices page and MacVoices group on Facebook, because each one of those was published there. Also, you can please go to our YouTube channel. Again, everything was published there. And finally, visit our Vimeo channel, because they were all published there as well. So there's no difference between the 3. It's just that some of those locations make a review of all of them a whole lot easier. But please check them all out. I don't expect you to watch every one, but I think if you start watching one, maybe you'll get hooked on it, and skip the ones that just absolutely don't apply to you. That's fine. I also want to express my appreciation, especially to Smile Software, for all their support through our CES coverage, as well as ExpressVPN, who helped support several of the shows. We couldn't do that without them, and we definitely could not do it without all of our Patreon supporters. And we'll get to the Patreon update just a little bit later in this update. But again, to those folks, thank you so much for your support. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. So as our CES coverage wraps up, that means it's time to get back to our normal content, or as normal as we ever get, because it seems like we are always trying to throw some new things into the mix, talk to some new people that you want to hear from, and that's where I really need some help from you. I would love to know what kind of things you would like to see on MacVoices. Who would you like to hear from? What kinds of software or hardware are you particularly interested in? Really, what do you want out of MacVoices? I'm here to try to help deliver great information to you, things that are really useful to you. That's why we do MacVoices Magazine on Flipboard. We try to pick out the best of the things that I see as I surf the web every day. We publish an article of the day to our Facebook group, and again, to try to highlight one particular thing that is really useful, maybe that something that you didn't know or you've forgotten about, and that's sort of the key here. So if there's anyone or anything you particularly would like to see covered on MacVoices, please drop me an email, chuck@macvoices.com. I would love to hear from you, and would love to find out just what it is that's on your mind. We already have some terrific shows on the schedule. In fact, 1 or 2 already in the can, actually, as I record this. So there's a lot coming from MacVoices as we go farther into 2019. So finally, and as always, let's wrap up with our Patreon update. This is another one of those good news, bad news kind of months. We did not lose anyone, that's the good news, but we did not make our goal of at least 1 new Patreon supporter. That's the bad news. So if you value MacVoices, I would really appreciate you going to patreon.com/MacVoices to help support our efforts. Look, I get it. Sometimes the monetary contributions are just not in the cards, and that's fine. So I will ask you to, if that's the case, if you would, to visit iTunes and give us a positive review there, to share all of our content as it comes out, whether you're on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or wherever. Share our content. It helps expand our reach, get more viewers and listeners, and helps us bring you more stuff. And of course, there's always the Amazon links that are in our show notes, and also at the header of each MacVoices page. Buying something through there does not cost you any more, but it does give us a little kickback and help support the show. So with that, let's get to this month's Patreon update. Now, this is another one of those months that was a good news, bad news kind of thing. The good news is that we didn't lose any supporters. The bad news is we didn't make our goal of at least one new supporter each month. So our Patreons this month did not change from last month, and they include, at Platinum level, RVS. There's no one at Gold this month. At Silver, we have Chuck A., Max C., Michael D., Norbert F., David G., Tim G., Chuck P., Frank P., George R., and Daniel S. And at Bronze, Clinton M., Bicars F., Giro M., Michelin N., Prop P., and Rick S. And as always, I want to say an extra special thank you to all of our Patreon supporters. Your loyalty and your support is very, very much appreciated. Every single time I fire up the camera or the microphone to talk to someone, I think about you and think about the fact that we really could not do this without you. So that's the update for February 2019. I hope you have a terrific month. I will see you back here for the next update in March, and I will see you back here for the next edition of MacVoices very soon. Thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our MacVoices Facebook group and get more out of your Apple Tech with MacVoices magazine, free on Flipboard. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us at patreon.com/MacVoices and join these folks who help keep MacVoices coming to you. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CashFly at cashfly.com.